morning, girls. Today we're going to talk about fairy tales again. Today we're going to talk about the fairy tale we read last week, The Gingerbread Man. And this week we're going to read The Gingerbread Girl. The Gingerbread Girl is a fractured fairy tale. A fractured fairy tale is when we change or adapt a fairy tale so that some part of the story is different than the original. Let's look at some ways it can be different. We can change the main character. We can change from a boy to a girl, like we're doing in this story. We can change the setting from a forest to a city or something like that. We can change the time, once upon a time, to something different, maybe something more current. Tell the story from another point of view when someone else tells the story. Change the main events, like old-fashioned to modern. Change the motivations, why we do something. Maybe we do it for money, then we do it for kindness. Or change the object, change the pea to a bone or something like that. So we're going to read The Gingerbread Girl and see how this story is fractured and what the author fractured to change it from its original story. Okay, The Gingerbread Girl. You may remember the sad story of the gingerbread boy. He ran away from the lonely old woman who baked him, as well as many other hungry characters. His dash through life was ended in one greedy gulp by a sly fox pretending to help him cross a river. This is the story of his younger, wiser sister. A full year had passed since the lonely old woman and the lonely old man had lost the gingerbread boy to the devilish fox. They were even lonelier than before. "Let's bake again," suggested the old man one morning. "But what if the same thing happens?" cried the old woman. "I can't bear the loss." "Let's make a girl this time and decorate her with candies. Surely a sweet little girl would never run away," answered the man. So they mixed up the dough and rolled it and cut it out. They dressed the girl with as many candies as they could fit, completing the cookie with an amazing hairdo made of licorice whips. "She is sweet," gasped the woman as she slid the cookie sheet into the oven. Bam! Out jumped the gingerbread cookie, running toward the door. The little old woman screamed, "Stop, stop!" And the little old man came running, but the cookie was already out the door and headed down the same path that her brother had traveled. "Here we go," whispered the gingerbread girl. The man and the woman chased after as she sang, "I'll run and I'll run with a leap and a twirl. You can't catch me, I'm the gingerbread girl." As the gingerbread girl dashed along the path, she came to a group of farmers working in the fields. The aroma of the fresh-baked gingerbread caught their attention. "Wait!" the hungry farmer shouted and began to run after the gingerbread girl. She laughed and she called, "Hey, farmers, don't bother. Just like my brother, I'm faster. Run all you want, but I've learned from his past. I'll run and I'll run with a leap and a twirl. You can't catch me, I'm the gingerbread girl." Farther down the road, a pig came into view. As the gingerbread grew closer, her candy sparkled in the sunlight. The pig squealed with joy and tried to take a bite, but the gingerbread girl was too fast. She leaped over him, singing, "I can leap past Piggy like all the others. This story will not end like that of my brothers. I'll run and I'll run with a leap and a twirl. You can't catch me, I'm the gingerbread girl." On down the path, she came upon an artist, "A masterpiece good enough to eat," the artist whispered, and reached out to scoop up the gingerbread girl. With some fancy footwork, the gingerbread girl zipped past, laughing, "I cannot run the artist like I outran the pig. I am a smart cookie, despite the wild wig. I'll run and I'll leap and I'll twirl. You can't catch me, I'm the gingerbread girl." Farther along, the gingerbread passed a cow with a calf who mooed happily, "Mama, I want a cookie to go with my milk." But then the cow tried to catch the gingerbread girl. Soon she found herself running behind, listening to the gingerbread girl. "Chase if you want, I'm faster than you, although you have 4 feet and I've only got 2. I'll run and I'll leap and I'll twirl. You can't catch me, I'm the gingerbread girl." Up ahead, a dog walker was crossing the path with 3 dogs. The dogs barked happily, seeing a tasty treat headed their way. But as the gingerbread girl sped past, the group was soon in line with the others, hearing, "You're joining the chase, the more the merrier, but no one can stop me, not a hound, not a terrier. I'll run and I'll leap and I'll twirl. You can't catch me, I'm the gingerbread girl." Now, the path ran right past the school. The children were out for recess and feeling quite hungry. Shouts of "Cookie" were heard across the playground. The gingerbread girl waved to them as they all joined the chase with their teachers and sang, "I know that it's snack time and you'll want a sweet. Come follow along and you'll have a treat. I'll run and I'll run with a leap and a twirl. You can't catch me, I'm the gingerbread girl. Finally, the gingerbread girl came to the same river her brother had tried to cross. Who should be waiting but that same devilish fox? Hello, my pretty, crooned the fox. I was a friend of your brother's, and it looks like trouble runs in your family. Do you want me to help you across the river? Just jump on my tail. The gingerbread girl shivered, then sang in a nearly whisper, Do I have your promise for a safe ride to shore? You won't drop or eat me, that's all I'll implore. The fox chuckled, I promise, my sweet little tidbit, and the gingerbread girl gingerly climbed on the fox's tail. The instant the gingerbread girl climbed on the fox's tail, he dove into the water, ready for a fabulous feast. Oh, the water is so deep, move on to my back, he insisted, thinking the cute cookie was even dumber than her brother. Anyone could tell by looking at her that she was an airhead. The gingerbread girl did what she was told. That's a good little girl, the fox said with a snicker. Oh, the water is getting deeper, move on to my head. No sooner had he spoken those words than the gingerbread girl leaped to his head, pulling off a strand of her own leathery licorice hair. With the expertise of a ranch hand, she triple-looped it around the fox's snout and tied it with a half-hitched knot. You're right, she whispered in the fox's ear. I am good. The fox snarled and struggled and strained, thrashing about, but the gingerbread girl hung on, turning him back toward the crowd, riding the fox like a bucking bronco. The gingerbread girl whizzed past singing, He'll run and he'll run, with a leap and a twirl, come follow me, I'm the gingerbread girl. The awestruck crowd followed all the way back to the lonely old woman and the lonely old man's house. The gingerbread girl rode into the kitchen, secured the fox, and jumped onto the table. And she measured and mixed with a leap and a twirl, singing, I'll bake you some more, I'm the gingerbread girl. The old woman and the man quickly followed in to help, having a hungry, happy house full to feed. From that moment on, of course, they were never lonely again, indeed. And what of the fox? The gingerbread was eventually able to teach him some manners. Using gingerbread crumbs for treats, most days you could see him riding across the countryside and hear a small voice drifting in the breeze. We'll run, we'll leap and we'll twirl. I'm outfoxed the fox, I'm the gingerbread girl. Okay, so that's our fractured fairy tale. So how is this fairy tale different from its original, and how is it fractured? What change was made? That's what you have to think about when you answer your questions today. Okay, boys and girls, bye-bye.